They're not super hard to make. It's just that there's a few steps. So like you have a little bit of like, I think it's like just a little bit of butter, but you have to heat it up and let it cool. And milk and eggs, some rosemary, some flour, just a little bit of sugar. Yeah, just really simple. And then of course you have to make mashed potatoes, so that it's not super time consuming, but it's a step that you have to do. So anyway, I would love to make some potato gnocchi with some of my potatoes, because you can make it with russet or Yukon. So I'll do that sometime. But okay, I'm going to add these to boiling water. Alright, here's my bread bowl. I'm going to work on my yeast mixture. Packets or regular active dry yeast will do. Half cup of warm water and a teaspoon of sugar. Sugar helps activate the yeast and the water. Just grabbed a random mixer from my drawer, because you just give that a little bit of a stir. Nothing too crazy. Right, that's what it looks like. Okay, and we're going to leave that alone until it doubles in size. So take a look at what it looks like now, and you want to double that. Like 6 to 10 minutes. Also, make sure that your water that you put into your yeast mixture, you don't want it cold and you don't want it too hot. Just about room temperature, almost lukewarm. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes and that's what it looks like. I'm going to give just a few more minutes. My potatoes are done, and while they're warm, I'm just going to give them a little mash. I'm just trying to get some extra fiber or something. Okay. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like now. It does spill. It's about double in size. I could let it go a little bit longer, but it doesn't really need it. Okay. 1/4 of milk. Half and half is what I had. Rosemary. The recipe calls for fresh, but that's what I have. And my butter. It's cooled. And 1.5 teaspoons salt. I'm going to eyeball it. Okay, and your 2 eggs. It says 2 large eggs. I'd say if small is all you have, I would use 3. If you only have 2 small, that's fine too. Basically, the large is just kind of a larger yolk. That's what I've noticed. Normally, I would put my eggshells in here, but we're expecting chickens, so save the box. Alright, give this a little stir. I don't know what it is about yeast, but I just think it smells really good. Okay, it's all incorporated. Now, I believe it's time for the mashed potatoes and the flour. 1/4 cup of sugar. Nope. 3/4 cup sugar. And then I want you to whisk that around. Except with an electric mixer, but that's alright. I will just take the time and do it by hand. And then you just do it until it's just a little bit frothy. Okay. I've got you at about the best angle I can do here. So in my bowl, I have 4 cups of flour. The recipe says 4 to 5, but I set aside the last cup. Add my mashed potatoes. And you are basically going to do a really good mix until you have a shaggy dough. And then, I believe, it looks like you let it rest a little while. And then you're going to really do a lot of mixing. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Scraping flour off the sides. Alright, I'm just going to keep stirring around with my wooden spoon until it's all incorporated and it's a nice shaggy dough. If you had an oven light that was really good and worked, you could even just turn on your oven light, put it in there and close the door. That would probably work too, but mine's burnt out. Okay, so this is my dough. Flour the surface just a tiny bit here. You don't want to over flour this dough. You just want enough so that you can work with it. Okay. The oven is ready whenever I'm ready. Okay. We are just going to knead this until it's all combined. If it's a tiny bit sticky, that's okay. You just basically don't want it to be so sticky that you can't let go of it. You know what I mean? Stir and stir. Blend and blend. Good way to get your aggression out if you have any. And it smells so good. So over there on my TV I have a virtual fireplace going, and it's super cozy. The wind is picking up a little bit here. You might hear that in the background. So I think when I started baking bread, the biggest confusing part I had is, why isn't my dough raising? And sometimes your yeast is dead. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. It just is. So that's why putting it in a separate bowl from your other ingredients, this is really familiar, okay. In a separate bowl from your other ingredients and making sure that it rises, you know that it's good. If it doesn't, your dough won't rise. And it needs the adequate environment to be able to rise as well. Just looking at my battery here, when I'm done rolling this out, I need to fix that. Okay, this is like almost done. Basically, you're supposed to knead it for about 5 to 7 minutes. And then I always wondered about texture. I was like, okay, well, how sticky is it supposed to be? Is this too dry? Da-da-da. And, you know, just practicing. And sometimes, if I'm running the dryer and it's a warm day, I'll put it on the dryer too. And some days, with the weather outside, that won't work for me. It just isn't rising, so the oven is kind of a little bit of a cheat. Okay, I think this is just about perfect texture. It's kind of like Play-Doh. It's just a little bit sticky, but not bad. You can pull it away and handle it, and it's not sticking to my hands. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go turn off the oven. I'm going to put a damp towel, get it wet, wring it out, put it over the bowl, and then let it cook for 1 hour. Okay, it has been an hour. Let's see how it looks. Looks pretty good. It's really sticky. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I want that to raise a little bit more, so I'm gonna roll it out into my biscuits, and then I'm gonna let it proof a little bit longer. A lot happened while you were gone. So where did I leave off? Oh, the dough was in the oven proofing, and I opened the bottom half of the oven to grab a sheet pan, and I saw mouse poop. So my sweetheart came over, and his dad, and we kind of figured out a plan. Hopefully it's just one. I think we caught it in time. Anyway, so it's been proofing for a couple hours, which is fine. A couple hours isn't gonna hurt it by any means. If anything, that's better than 1 hour. So what I did since then is I rolled them into dough balls, probably about the size of my palm, and here they sit. And they have been rising for about 20 minutes more, and I'm preheating the oven for 350, and they will go in for 20 to 25 minutes. Yeah, buddy. And 25 minutes later, this is what they look like. Now you want to let these sit for probably 10 minutes because they'll continue to steam on the inside, and then they'll be ready to eat. Thanks for joining me.